Well, good morning and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now today I'm going to talk about what I consider to be the needs of Paphiopedilums. A lot of people have asked me if I could do a quick video on it, so that's what I'm going to do today. A lot of people have trouble with what to put in the potting media, so we'll start off by just mentioning a few things. Well, there are many things you can pot these plants in, things such as coconut husk, bark, volcanic rock, sphagnum, peat moss, even polystyrene, perlite, etc. But which one will be the right one for you? All the path growers I have known have tried virtually everything, and they have all had failings and changed their mixes for something different, and they have read that this mixture or that mixture will make them grow properly. But to be honest, I don't think there's a single mix which will be successful for everyone. So I can't tell you what mix you should use that will bring you success in the cultivation of these plants. The only positives I can give are that the media you choose should be firm enough to hold the plant in place without any undue movements. It should definitely be free draining, but be able to hold enough water to keep the plant damp. But if it's not in a free draining plant, the water will build up in the pots and will become stagnant. And in that case, the roots will rot and it will bring a quick demise to your plants. So you will have to make your own minds up on the media you use, and if it's successful, stick to it and don't change. Now, I've been guilty of killing so many plants by repotting before it's needed and overwatering. But now I use a few bamboo skewers pushed to the bottom of the pots to tell me when a plant needs watering. Just to test, I take the skewer out of the pot, just touch the end against my lip, and that will show you if it feels wet, don't water. What can I say now? Oh, sorry, if it feels dry, give it another day or two before watering again. Now, as you probably know, all these Paphiopedilums come from the continents of Asia. The queen of paths being Rothschildianum and Sandrianum, which have been used countless times to provide many beautiful hybrids, which are mainly referred to as multiflorals, simply because they bloom with many blooms open at the same time. There are the sequential bloomers that just have one open, then that drops off and another one opens. But with the multiflorals, they all flower at the same time. Now, these two king and queens are found near Mount Kinabalu in Borneo, where I once read that the ground there is rich in magnesium, so that might be a bit of a pointer how to feed them. Well, I've talked about the use of different media and what it should do, but how you should water and with what. Now, water is the one thing which should be studied carefully. Nearly all orchids, they'll survive in different media, they'll survive in different heats, they'll survive with different cultivations, but they will not survive if you water them incorrectly. And when I first started buying paths, I used to buy the small ones, hoping that I would grow them up and raise them to adults and blooming size, but how wrong was I? I probably killed over 90% of them, and that's when I realised that it worked out better to the pocket to buy one plant at £50, which was mature and growing and well settled in, which is easier to keep, than buy 10 plants at £5, where you have the trouble of repotting into what you think it's doing okay. I wouldn't do it again. I've done it so often, and I wouldn't buy small plants. I would always buy mature. Now I water all my paths with a suitable commercial feed, maybe rain mix and something like that, at 400 parts per million. This may seem a lot, but within a couple of hours, and definitely on the same day, I will give them a good flushing to clear out any unused fertiliser. Now this might seem a bit of a waste of fertiliser, but the roots will have taken up the amount of fertiliser that they need as soon as you water them. And you are not providing them with a media which is littered with salts. I generally add just a little bit of Epsom salts in the flushing, and this will help the unused fertiliser to bind itself to the Epsom salts and be watered out. Now these paths should always be classed as epiphytes, and although they grow on the vegetable debris on the forest floor, then the roots of the plants never grow into the soil. So since paths like to dry very quickly after watering, you must treat them all as epiphytes. Now these plants need quite a bit of humidity. The leaves of the paths, as they do with all orchids, have open stomata on their leaves. Now these are like pores which take in and push out humidity, you know, so they love a nice humidity to live in. And if you can give them high humidity constantly, then they wouldn't need watering as often. As regards light, although bright filtered light is the type for these plants, which you will get in the warmer months, give them as much light as you can in the darker winter months, when they will appreciate a little bit of sunshine if the sun shines in winter, which it doesn't in this part of the world. Anyhow, I can't tell you much more about Paphiopedilums and what I like to do with them, so I'll just show you a few plants I've got. Well, this one is a Paphiopedilum philippinense, and talk about slow growing. This is one of the plants I bought as a small plant, but it is growing. But it's only grown, what do you say, the size it is in this 9 centimetre pot, oh no, so 12 centimetre pot. But it's not doing too badly, and it's just putting up a new leaf there. But the thing that's worrying me, the last leaf it put up isn't as big as the one before. So I'll have to look into that one. Paphiopedilum philippinense. Now this is a 2-growth plant of St. Swithin, and this is also doing the same thing. It's putting out a new leaf right at the bottom, but the other leaf isn't as big as the last one it put out. So I wonder why that is. Oh, and these are the bamboo skewers I use to test whether they need watering or not. But these plants are doing fine. They're nice and clean, and the leaves are healthy. So I'll just let them get on with it and treat them all the same way. This is a Paphiopedilum berenice, which has never flowered, and it's quite a big plant. It's coming up with a new growth there. There's another one there, and a new leaf growing up there. Now if I look down at this at top, Can you see the swelling at the bottom as it's coming out of the media? Well, that's a sure sign that it wants to bloom. So hopefully, once this flower's been out, then it will send a flower spike up. I hope so anyhow. Paphiopedilum Berenice. And this one is such a slow grower, and this is the cross between the king and queen, Rothschildianum and Sandrianum, to give you Prince Edward of York. Absolutely gorgeous. Now this is coming up with a nice new leaf there. Nothing coming up in the middle just yet, and no swelling at the bottom, but this definitely blooming size. That's Paphiopedilum Prince Edward of York. Now I have a large Paphiopedilum, you probably remember, the Enchantress, which is supposed to be a green plant, but it's been crossed with Rothschildianum, and it's got a bud on it that's half open. So I'll go indoors now and I'll show you that one. Well, this is the plant I have indoors. It's coming into bloom. Absolutely fantastic leaves on it. And it's Enchantress crossed by Rothschildianum. And you can see it's a big flower bloom that's not open yet. So if I just tip it back, or if I can just look underneath it, and see what it's going to look like. There we are, something like that. It's not very colourful, and I don't know whether I like it or not, but there again, it's a Paphiopedilum that's blooming. Anyhow, I can't tell you any more about Paphiopedilums. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's helped someone, and until next time, thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll see you later.